Having self-discipline in anything that we do, as they say, is easier said than done. It's more convenient for us to just simply hit the snooze button, or perhaps to put things off for later. However, doing so sets us back from achieving our goals. Tonight in UJ Radio, we are very honored to have someone who exemplifies self-discipline, diligence, and faith, traits that are most useful to him in his chosen professional boxing. You might be wondering who that is, huh? Join us tonight and find out, because we'll be right back.
Okay, rolling.
Rolling.
Rolling. Smile.
Kami ay kabatang inihandog sa iyo, Ama. Nung buhay namin ay lan sa banal na iglesia. Ikaw ang aming Diyos na sa amin lumalang. Ikaw ay pinupuri namin sa aming pagsamba. Sa aming paglaki, iyo pong iniingatan. Kami ay iyong mahal, turing sa aming binukod. Ang aming mga magulang na gumabay sa amin ay nagturo pang ikay aming mahalin. Kami mga kabataan, tunay na iglesia ni Cristo. Kami mga kabataan, nagmamahal sa'yo, Ama. Sa bawat pagsampa kami tumatanggap niyong turo. Nagkahanda kaming sumagot sa tanong ng aming guro.
Salamat pumaribon pa sa pinakamaaga, pinakamatalino at pinakamasikla. Ang natamang pananampalataya ipamamahagi, sama sa mga sanlibutan di kami makikibahagi. Pagmamahal ipadarama sa aming kapwa, ito ang katunayang mahal ka namin, Ama. Kami mga kabataan, tunay na iglesia ni Cristo. Kami mga kabataan, nagmamahal sa'yo, Ama.
Kami nangangakong sa'yo ay susunod. Uunahin ang kalooban mo nang ikaw ay malugod. Pasakop sa'yo at sa Panginoong Isus. Sa pamamahala mo'y makikinig ng lubos.
Laging tatandaan ang kanilang itinuturo. Ano man ang mangyari, kami ay hindi susuko.
Kay man ay maulila, magpapatuloy pa. Patutunayan ko sa'yo, mahal ka namin, Ama.
Kami mga kabataan, tunay na iglesia ni Cristo. Kami mga kabataan, nagmamahal sa'yo, Ama.
Mga kabataan,
tunay na iglesia ni Cristo. Kami mga kabataan, nagmamahal sa'yo, Ama.
Hello po mga ka-UJ! Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. You are now watching Unity Junction Radio and we are live on INC TV and on INC Production Company's Facebook page and YouTube channel. Hello po! I'm Sister Bea. And of course, up next, I'm gonna call up my Kuya Kyle. Hi! Kuya
Hey, hello. Good evening, good evening, good evening. There are 3 weeks left to the year. Actually, 3 weeks from now, it'll be 2022.
22.
So we should all probably start mentally preparing now when we're filling out the form, or kahit anong form. It's not gonna be 21 or 2021. Because I always forget like the first 2 or 3 months of the new year. I always put the previous year. Hopefully Brother Randall doesn't have that mistake, because it's very important for him to have the dates correctly, because if he doesn't, I'm gonna miss my flight.
Kyle, Bea, and to all our viewers, once again, good evening po sa inyong lahat. Or if you're somewhere in the world that the sun is still up, well, I guess that could be good morning or good afternoon. In that case, that'll be the case of our guest for tonight, which we will be introducing in a bit. But for now, and how's everything doing for Kyle and Bea?
I'm just trying to make the best of the last few weeks of 2021. As
Yeah,
we all are, I'm sure.
Yeah, parang ito na yung huling week para sa karamihan ng work. Kasi po mga last 2 weeks, medyo break na, di ba? Pwede na umuwi for the New Year's. Pero yung last week, ito na yung mag-turn over ka ng trabaho, ang dami mo isasubmit, ang dami mag-deadline. So, sa inyo pong lahat ng mga nanonood, remember to eat, sleep, and take care of yourself para naman po, konti na lang at makakapag 2 weeks rest po tayong lahat. So, don't you worry. Sasamahan namin kayo dito po sa UG Radio, konting kwentuhan at konting saya po para sa inyong lahat ng mga nanonood on Team Facebook and Team YouTube. Kuya Randall, if you have, do you have greetings? Do you have people to greet po? Baka yung may mga friends kayo nanonood?
I sure do, Sister Bea. And I'd like to greet belated wedding anniversary po to Brother Jason and Sister Jet from Australia. Hello po, and thank you po for continuously watching UJ Radio every Saturday evening. And of course, to my family, hello po kay Mami Belen, Lola Sining, all the brethren po from Tagkawayan, Quezon, and of course, my very own locale of Canlubang, district po of Calamba City. Thank you po for supporting UJ Radio.
All right, and if you're watching right now, please do grab your Lola or your Tito and your family and your friends, send them that link and say, hey, we got a good show coming up, because we do have a good show coming up. I'd like to introduce our guest for today. He is a professional boxer, not an amateur boxer or someone like me who kind of, but he's a real professional boxer with a record of 10 wins, 6 knockouts. That's amazing. I've never been knocked out in my life. I don't want to ever be knocked out in my life, but maybe we'll ask him a little bit later on the show. What's that like? His 2 losses and of course 0 draws. He is a deacon and the president of the Light of Salvation for the locale of Las Vegas. Hello to everyone from the Las Vegas locale and the local congregation of Las Vegas, the ecclesiastical district of Mountain States. I'm only going to have probably one chance in my life to do this. So please, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you Brother Kevin Thunderstorm Johnson. Brother Kevin, welcome to the show. I know I can't do it as well as the actual announcer at the ring.
That was good enough. That was good enough for you, Kyle. You did it.
That sounded more professional to me than the boxing.
Well, we have a pilot and we have a Kuya Kyle here. It's a complete show. And now we have Brother Kevin. Hello po, Ka Kevin. It's so nice to have you with us tonight.
Hello, Ete. Bia, how are you po? Kuya Randall, Kuya Kyle, how are you po?
Hello po.
Yes, brother, thank you for joining us.
Brother Kevin, if you have people to greet, now would be the good time to do it.
Yes, po. I would like to greet the District of Mountain States. I said steak. I'm hungry, po. District of Mountain States, District of Mountain States in our locale, and also in Las Vegas locale, po. Thank you. I greet everyone there, Paul, and also the INC media team, Paul. I love you guys so much, and all the brethren throughout the world, and also our executive minister, Kai Eduardo V. Manalo. We love you, Paul. Thank you.
All right. So, brother Kevin, you're a fighter, and yeah, you're a fighter within the 4 squares of that ring. But like a lot of us, especially for us who had a tougher childhood, you've been fighting all your life, not just as a professional boxer, but basically just as a human being, as an American citizen, and of course, as a fighter, fighting your fight in our election, in our race inside the church. But I want to get back to your origin story, Muna. Earlier, we were talking about that you were growing up on the east side of 8 Mile, and like the Academy Award-winning movie. I'm just curious, is it really kind of like that with the neighborhood, and really you just got to be tough?
Right, it's not just like that, but it's similar to it. Yes, I grew up in the east side of 8 Mile, and very tough, very rough, gang violent city. But once again, it's all about who you know. And I had so many cousins and so many friends that I knew. So I was already in the community of family. They are my family, So it was easy for me to grow up in that environment.
So you didn't really have a tough time in blending, is because like what you said, you get your family with you there in Detroit, but now you are currently enlisted for in the local of Las Vegas. And yeah, by the way, before I proceed with my question, I used to live on that part of Vegas and right in front of North Las Vegas Airport. If I do recall clearly, Brother Johnson, it was at the Rancho Street in Decatur. It's called Altera Apartment. And that was a pretty neat and so much different from the way you described the east of 8 Mile. So how do you cope up living in a different society or environment now compared to where you came from?
Well, living in Las Vegas, it was so different. It's so much different. Living in Las Vegas like the Beverly Hills of anything, you know. It's just it's so beautiful and nice, you know. You don't have so many people surrounding the stores here or anything like that, or you know, people walking, no fights, anything. So, but definitely, but growing up in also Detroit as well, you know, you get fights, you get you know, you hear gunshots at night as well. So that's also, you have to always be aware of your surroundings and making sure that you always watch your back in Detroit, Michigan. So it was very dangerous living there, you know. So it just, once again, you know, it's just all about keeping your own group. I wish I could say, just so you want, you know, experience, you know, bad terms or anything or any commotions, basically.
You mentioned it was a dangerous place to live and to grow up. I can imagine, but boxing is also dangerous. Unlike me, where I'm a host or a radio announcer, I'm not gonna go home with a black eye. You know what I mean? So I'm wondering, how does someone decide to pursue boxing as a profession? Earlier when we had met, you were talking about, you know, you and your cousins, and then you found out that you were actually pretty good at it.
So I got introduced by boxing by my oldest brother, his name Kivel, and he introduced me to boxing. We actually went to the gym together, and the second day I sparred him and my cousin. And growing up in Detroit, you have to show your heart. You have to show how tough you are. And also, it's also fun in that aspect as well, because coaches will allow you to go in and spar. So the second day I sparred both of them, and I looked real good. The only thing I knew about boxing is hit and don't get hit, and I was really good in countering punches and not getting hit at all. And that's why you see me always come out of my fights with a you know, beautiful face, I can say, you know what I'm saying? No injuries, no severe damage, you know what I mean? Because I was always
looking good.
Exactly. And so it was a great experience, you know, and after that, I just fell in love with boxing. I was like, you know what, this is what I'm gonna do every day, you know what I mean? I just kept going to the gym, consistently going every day, trying to get better, you know, because when you love something, you continue to do the best you can at it and get better.
I gotta say, like, I love you as a brother, but like, let's say if Bea was your sister too, or even your mom or your wife, and they see you in that ring taking hits, what is it like for them?
You know, I don't know what it's like for them. I talk to my family, and they just say, you love it. You know, they know me. They know I don't like to get hit, so I really don't know
handsome.
Their experience. Just stay handsome. Yeah.
Brother
I come out to my fights.
I'm curious though. How long have you been boxing? Even the amateur years. How long have you been doing it?
I've been boxing for 18 years now.
18 years. So 18 years is no joke. It's no joke.
No, and that's consistently going every day to the gym, and I still love the gym. I still have love for for my profession.
So I think we could clearly say, just like what Carandel said in our intro, that you really have to have self-discipline for you to keep going this long, and for you to keep saying that it's your passion and you love doing it. You really enjoy doing it. Yeah.
I enjoy it. I enjoy it. Most of all, I enjoy knocking people out. That's
It's the
enjoyment.
challenge, the winning.
Yes.
Right? Finishing your
That's-
race in a sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, you know.
So we'd like to know what preparations you do before you go into a fight, before a fight.
I actually, it's the same preparation what I do every day at the gym, but I just make sure that I how do you say, intensely do it tougher, I'd say. Just continue
Compared to
to,
just
I work harder.
practicing, right? It's
Yeah,
on another
I
level.
work hard. Yeah, it's on another level. I work harder. So I run more times I do run. So, yeah, just preparing for it, changing my diet, eating right, staying healthy, staying fit, running 3-4 times a week, and more miles that I should run. I usually do 4, and now I do 5. So it's always I'm always challenging myself and getting better, you know.
So, Brother Kevin, I want to ask you one question. Let's go to the more specific thing. Say like you're fighting in about 24 hours from now. Because we see you have to deal with all the sacrifices and the discipline that you have to do. Perhaps there are certain things that you really badly want to do, but because you're getting into another fight of your career, you might want to put these things aside. But say, for example, you'll be fighting in 8 hours from now. What are some specific preparations that you normally have to do?
Devotional prayer. I make sure that I do my devotional prayer leading up to the fights, because I know without God, I won't be where I'm at today, you know. So I'm always praying to God and making sure that I'm safe so I can come back home to my family. So just preparing myself and always active in the church, you know, church duties. I know and I understand that if you put God first, He will put you first. He will give you what you need and what you ask for. So that is also a manifestation that is, I am where I am at. Where I'm at today is because of God. He gave me these things, you know, because I put Him first place in return. And so He put me first place.
I strongly believe that that's what sets you apart from the other athletes or your opponents. And I'm a firm believer in that in everything that you do, in order to have it accomplished as planned and as desired by your heart, you always have to couple it with prayers. Right, Brother Kyle?
Yeah, I totally agree. And since we're talking about church, I want to kind of make an analogy between the journey as a convert to being from your previous faith to where we are now together in the Iglesia ni Cristo. You know, there's indoctrinal lessons that we all go through. And then there's a period where you attend worship service before you finally get baptized and you are where you are now. In your career, what separates an amateur boxer from a professional boxer? Like, where's that gap? How do you know when you cross that line?
In amateur boxers, it's a more fast-paced, you know, throwing your hands, not even thinking about the defense, not even thinking about the punches coming at you, you know, in a way that professional boxing is, they more relaxed, they place their punches, they don't waste punches, so it's a big dynamic, it's big gap.
Strategy, would you say? There's a lot more
Yeah.
strategy in it.
Exactly, yes. A lot of more strategy and making sure that they don't waste punches like the amateurs do, you know. And also amateurs get tired like in three rounds, you know, probably less, you know, because they throw so many punches and trying to exalt themselves. So it's a big.
You said you
gap.
like fighting. You like knocking someone out. I've been into a few fights before in my life, but nothing like in the ring. So I've taken a few hits to the face and I've gotten a black eye and everything. But what's it like to be on both sides? Right? Be the one giving it and to be the one getting it.
I love giving it. You know, because
yeah, I would too. I don't want to be knocked out.
Nah, I do not want to be looking at somebody and just be like, "Yep, you did it." You know, I did get stung one time in sparring. I was in the amateurs versus a professional, and the professional was left-handed, and he hit me with a straight left hand and kind of dazed me. So I was like, I still kept my ground. I still trying to keep my poise, as in like I'm not hurt, but I was dizzy. I was like, oh man, I hope he. I was feigning him. I was feigning him like, get back. You know what I'm saying? I'm like doing everything I can to say just. After that round was up, I'm like, yeah, I'm done. You know, but
All right.
Brother Kevin, as much as Brother Kyle asked you the difference between the amateur and the professional boxing, would you mind taking us to your first ever professional fight as a boxer? How was it?
my very professional fight was in Philadelphia, and it was amazing. I trained extremely hard for it, you know, and I was doing my devotional prayer, so I had no doubt whatsoever every time I get into a fight that I will win. And so leading up to the fight, like I was so in shape and I was so anxious to get in there that I knocked the dude out. I stopped him in the first round. And it was amazing. I was yelling out all throughout the room, I got it, you know, and it was amazing. It really is, you know.
But Brother Kevin, earlier we read your what do you call it? You have 2 losses, right? You have 2 losses, and so far we could see that you're quite competitive and you don't want to lose as much as possible, of course. But how did it feel? How did you deal with those 2 losses when it happened?
It kind of hurt me because those 2 losses was I actually won, but they was with their promoter, so they actually won. He was the favorite to win, so they gave to them. So I was really hurt, you know, just to actually experience that. But I couldn't quit. I gotta keep going, right? You know, you don't stop. You don't just stop after your loss. So I have to keep going. I have to continue to prove myself to the world that I am where I need to be at. You know, and now I'm surpassing the guys that already beat me. I'm in top 16. You know, so and where they at, I don't know. I'm passing them because I'm continue to get better and I continue to take hard fights.
I saw that video of you from INC Media where our executive minister actually sent you a letter about your victory. Was that 2016? A couple years ago.
Yes.
So you've been fighting for like 18 years in your amateur years.
Mm-hmm.
It was when you became a member of the church that you became a professional fighter. Is that correct?
Yeah. I became professional in 21. I was big so but
Yeah, I'm curious. I've always wondered, like, what's going, like, you know, at the end of the fight after X amount of rounds, and the referee's between you and your opponent, and he's holding both of your hands, and there's those very few moments, and you don't know.
It's scary.
Yeah, what do you feel?
It is
What's
scary.
going on in your head?
Man, it is so scary. It's like I know I win. Just, once again, like I've been on the losing end of the stick in my losses. So I know when I know I win, it was like it was so scary because I hope these judges know what they look for, you know.
They're fair, right?
Right, they're fair, exactly. And so it's always a chest banger because it's like I'm nervous and I'm like I know I win. So I have to think about the scores, you know, 115, 110, Kevin Johnson, 115, 110 the opponent. Then the last come down to one more judge. Like, oh. Yeah, it's scary.
I'm curious though, besides those moments and dealing with that, they have to be fair, what other challenges do you go through? What difficulties do you go through? I don't know, during the training or even during the fights or even the mental part of it, Kevin? What are the difficulties?
During the difficulty is when I'm doing training, I'm always preparing for a fight. I'm always dedicating to the fight and also dedicated to my duty and my family. So that is the difficult part because now I have to manage my time. So just make sure that I find time for my family, my church, and my career. It's easy, but it's not easy because you exhaust yourself. During training, I actually get 4 hours of sleep, and not even, and sometimes 3, so it's so much that I have to do. But I don't quit, because I know that all these 3 things will make me successful.
You mentioned difficulty in the last time that we had our meeting, the first time that you and I met. We were talking about that, and what I want to focus on specifically is sugar. And you're like, what? Why sugar? Let's let our audience know, because I was telling Brother Kevin that when I was in college and I was trying to save up money, do things, I was eating crackers, Skyflakes crackers, they're very plain, and I would put Tabasco sauce on it just to have a little flavor. Brother Kevin has a similar story, and it's about sugar. What is that about,
Yes.
Brother Kevin, for the rest of our audience?
I'm curious. All right.
Yes. So when I came to Vegas, I didn't have food in my house, and I was still going to the gym at that moment. So I didn't have food in my house, and the only time I can actually eat, I was finding some things. I was trying to go through cabinets, trying to find food. I'm like, I don't got nothing. And I seen this bag of sugar. So I was like, you know what? Let me get a finger licking full of sugar. That's what I fed myself on, till the next day, when I actually would go to the gym. And I never asked no one for nothing, although I was going through these things, I never asked no one for nothing because that's how I am, and I have to be tough, and because I'm always giving. I don't like to take, I'm always giving. So to ask for somebody for something, it's like, it's sad to me because I don't want to take, I just want to give, so, but, I always
give punches,
kept going every day.
Give punches, yeah.
No, right, my punches.
When it's in the right time and place.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for sharing that story. I know it's not easy to talk about our difficulties, but it shows a lot where you are now, Brother Kevin. You are a true blue fighter. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also other things as well. When I was a little kid, I was being bullied, in classrooms. And in streets, because I was a little kid and I was big, I was fat, I was always like this.
Right.
I was not this handsome. I was chubby and cute.
It's self-discipline.
Self-discipline makes you handsome, yeah.
Exactly. But just going through that as well, I always take that as well, that bullying into the ring, because I was there. It was tough.
Yeah.
And
now you just think of it, you're the bigger person, and now you're not gonna go that low, you're not gonna stoop that low. I'm gonna do better, I'm gonna do good. You have self-discipline and you have your faith. We love your story, Kevin. Right. It's very nice. Yes. We love it. But we do have to take a short break. Later on, we're gonna hear more about your story, Kevin. But for the meantime, we do have a game here on UG Radio, which is our sound check. So we will be playing a sound check mystery sound every week. We have one. You can join us. Kevin, I see him jumping.
Yeah.
he's jumping and getting ready. So Kuya Kevin, our technical director, please play our mystery sound for tonight.
I think that's kind of easy.
Oh, yes. Okay. So, Kika, would you do the honors of...
I think it's the sound of... I was trying to make it boxing related. I cannot. I'm sorry. That's the sound of the bell signifying Brother Kevin's 11th victory. It sounds like an elevator, right, guys?
It sounds like an elevator.
Sound like a back truck. Backing up, truck backing up.
Oh yeah, that's true. True. It could be like a
Yeah, I know.
18-wheeler backing up. So for all of our friends and family and guests watching on INC TV and Facebook and YouTube right now, please do send us your guesses. Help us out always on the show in the comment section with the hashtag soundcheck.
Yeah, because like Brother Kevin here, we don't want to lose. It's December and the year's almost ending and we want to win this. So tulungan nyo kami, mga nanonood po on YouTube and Facebook. I know you will get this right. So yeah, we'll be reading, well, hopefully reading comments later on. Yeah, so anyways, do we have any people to greet though?
I want to say what's up to Brother Ron and his son Nico Poblete. I know Brother Kevin in Las Vegas also knows him as well. I was telling Brother Kevin that Brother Nico in Las Vegas was no taller than my kneecaps right now, so I'm always very surprised to see how much of a man he's grown up into, and I'm sure brother Kevin Thunderstorm Johnson will help.
Yeah. He Brother Ron do a good impression of the thunderstorm sound effects.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it. But it's with his mouth. It was like, wow. So greetings, Brother Ron.
You should bring him every time. You should bring him every time so he will do the thunderstorm effect for you. I do want to shout out some of our viewers po on YouTube and Facebook. I hope I remember all of their names though. Si Ka Benjo, si Ka Gian, si Ka Chaser, si Kuya Roberto. Hello po sa inyo. Sino pa ba nandun? Si Ate Camille. Oh, namimiss ko na yung mga Team FB and Team YouTube. Hello po sa inyo at salamat po sa laging panonood sa UG Radio at sa iba pa po natin mga programa ng INC PC. Hello na rin po sa akin po lola, si Lala Francis at si Lolo Boy Reyes na sa Bulacan. Mamaya sasabihin na naman nila sa akin, hindi ko naman sila binati. So binati ko na sila. Hello Lala and Lolo! So yeah, that's it. I just had to give them a shout out before the year ends. Otherwise, they're gonna tell me, just pick me again. So anyways, okay, I think we could go on because I want to know more about Kevin's story. I want to hear more. I'm feeling really inspired. I love this story. I love this episode that we're having tonight po eh. So, I'm curious. We asked you earlier po, Brother Kevin, about how you deal with you losing, right? And how you deal with difficulties. But, you know, this time we want to know about how you deal with winning and how you handle the success that you're having, especially now that you're going up, and it's going good po. How do you deal with that?
After I win, I actually go get some food because I be starving.
What's your go-to food though after you win?
Steak.
It's,
go-to
I really don't have a go-to food. It's whatever that is near. You know,
He's that
my favorite food is fries though.
Oh yeah, you and I both.
I love fries.
I
Carbs,
love
right?
fries.
You deserve all those carbs after a successful victory.
After all the sacrifice. Brother Kevin, I have a question for you, and this is, I know a lot of boxers, when they go to professional, they have kind of like a name. How did you get your name, the Thunderstorm?
Yeah.
Did somebody give it to you, or have you thought about that before even getting into the professional ring?
So I had many names growing like in boxing. I have one. Wanted me to tell you my previous names.
Go ahead.
Okay. So one name was Kevy Kev. Okay. And the other name was Silent Assassin. Because I was silent. I was always quiet.
That's it.
Can't hear his punches coming.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And so I had many names, but Thunderstorm came about when my sponsor, Kaldudan Tikiki, who invited me to the church, his name was Lightman, and he said, "Oh, you know what?
Oh, wow.
You should be Thunderstorm because Thunderstorm and lightning it was in the Bible," and he showed me the verse as well, and then not only that, he's lightning and thunderstorm, lightning and thunder is always it's connects. It
comes hand in hand. Yeah.
Yes, it goes hand in hand. Right. So anyways, he's like, you know, because we are teams. Because me and Kailu, me and him was a team, still is a team, and so we just got
connected.
together
So,
and just
like,
made it like what?
Your origin story about being a fighter, of course, coming from the streets of Detroit, the east side of 8 Mile, going now to your origin story of finding the Church of Christ, and like you just said, you as Kevin Thunderstorm Johnson, you met up with brother Dan, was it? Lightning is
Brother
gonna
Lou
stick
Dan.
in my mind forever. Brother Lou Dan.
Brother Lou
And
Dan.
that's how you guys met up together, where he invited you guys were training together at the gym, and then he invited you to Bible study.
Right. He invited me to his home for Bible study, and it was entertaining because the minister, every time he was preaching, he was ask questions and answers come straight from the Bible.
Yeah.
And one time, and another visitor that Kalu then brought, he was actually arguing the minister, and the lesson was about the true God. Jesus Christ is not God, and the visitor was arguing the minister, oh, Jesus Christ is God, and he just kept saying stuff, and the ministers kept shutting him down with verses, no, this
So
verse
basically, they were having a boxing fight of verses,
they was
right?
having exactly, and it was so clear to me because I'm like, bro, it's in the Bible, we cannot take it out, it's that what you saying is your opinion. This is written in the Holy Scriptures, so you have to base your faith in what the Bible says, and that's when everything came clear, and I just kept going to Bible studies after that.
Awesome.
That's awesome. How long ago was that? Could we know how long ago was that? But when you got converted, when you started going into Bible studies before the church? Yeah.
In 2013.
Oh, years. I don't want to do math.
And 8 years later, going on 9 years later, as a president of the Light of Salvation, you've got your family there with you as well. Does any of your kids want to be boxers? And like, how does that work out?
I don't know what they want to be, but whatever they do, I support it. Right now it's hard to tell because the kids want to do everything, right?
Yeah, they do.
And most of all, they want to be a ninja. Like, you can't be a ninja as a profession. A ninja is not a job.
But Brother Kevin, well, you do have professional boxing, and it's not an easy job. You have to train, you have to have your own training regimen, you have to have your own schedule. How do you manage your time with you being a father, being a professional boxer, and at the same time, you're also, you have church duties to attend to. So how do you manage your time?
Just making sure I have time, just make sure I have time. After every time I'm in church, that's actually, I give my priorities to my duties. And when I'm at home, I give my priorities to my family, my kids, making sure that they are well aware of the teachings of God, and being educated as well. And when I'm home, and when I go to the gym, my focus is on the gym. So it's always in wherever I'm at, like, today I'm at home, I'm gonna just make sure I pay attention to my kids. So
just like where you're at, you're gonna put your full focus, your 100% into that. Right. Yeah, when you're at home, you don't bring your work home, you don't bring the gym home. And
right,
when you're at the gym, you're gonna tell your family, I'll be training, I'll be working for a bit, so you go and take care of yourselves for a while, and clearly you're teaching them self-discipline in that same way, and right. It's a very good thing to see you as a professional boxer, as a father, as somebody who has church duties, and you're president of the Light of Salvation for your local congregation. So those are not easy tasks, and everywhere you go, you're a leader.
I never knew I would be a LOS president.
We trust you that much.
But it's so funny is that because when I was a Bible student, I did everything I can to continue to listen to the teachings, because I was learning so much, and could just kept going and learning. And not even that, I had so many questions. I had a list of questions that I wrote down. And I'm like, I can't wait to ask these questions to the minister, because I already knew they was going to come straight from the Bible. And so I had a list of it. And So when I attend the Bible studies, I ask him the questions. And it's so crazy that I actually was driving to Bible studies and worship service without no license. So that's how dedicated and consistent I was,
Don't do
because
that.
I was learning so much, and I was so consistent on being saved. And so my heart was devoted to that, and it's still devoted to that, seeing the Holy City.
Yes. Brother Kevin, I know how much sacrifices you've already put into the career from the time you were an amateur until such time you became a professional boxer. But if you were to turn back time and relive your life again, would you say you still want to do everything again and become a boxer?
Well, I'm okay where I'm at now.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
You're still looking good to me, bro.
reinvent.
So
Thank you,
I
thank
wouldn't
you.
change a
No
thing.
black
You're
eyes
still looking good to
whatsoever.
me.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But I
but
would
yeah.
change where the day got that I lost against one of the fighters.
Yeah.
I would change that, and I would knock him out. So that's probably I would.
Those are the things you would change. Just make sure the fights are more and actually fair.
But who knows?
Yes.
There would come a time that you'd once again face with the same opponent that you had when you got
rematch, yeah.
close to two losses. Yeah, you'd probably get a rematch, and you'd see that happening, right?
Yeah, 100% rematches, but you have to. But in order to get a rematch, you have to continue to win.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you have to make sure that you win in a spectacular fashion, so your name can get up there. And once your name is up there, then they be like, okay, let's go and rematch Brother Kevin Johnson.
Brother Kevin, we could see you winning more in the future. But besides that, what more would you like to achieve or accomplish? Anything more that you would like to check off the list? Maybe anything else that you could.
Yeah.
hope
What's
to
the
achieve in the
next
future? What's the next
goal?
step for
Like,
you? Yeah.
Then really the most next goal? Is there like a belt that I'm very unfamiliar with the sport of boxing. So what's next in your career? Like the foreseeable thing that you can see coming up next for you?
Opening up a foster home for kids and also a old folks home, making sure that I do that not only for them, but also for me to give back and make sure that not only to have a proper living, but also to guide them in the faith of our Lord Jesus Christ, our Almighty God.
I'm sure your kids see that already in you. I mean, when I was growing up as a kid, my backyard, basically, quote unquote backyard, was our locale. I was always hanging out at church because, like my parents, my parents, the offices that they were given, there was something that just kind of, they were called into it. The same way that you were unexpectedly, you didn't expect to be a president of the Light of Salvation, but where we are today because we were called by Almighty God. So I'm sure with your kids, same way. Like I see my father working so hard, balancing his time, and then he wants to do even more. So that's good stuff. How any advice and tips to our theme today is self-discipline. So
yes,
specific
advice and tips I can give the youth and everyone in that nature is to always stay consistent, always love what you want to do, and never quit. And most of all, make sure that you always be prayerful and go to worship service because worship service may actually make you strong to battle this world alone, right? Because we don't know, because every problem that we have, we get our answers from the worship service. So that's why I encourage everyone to attend worship service, because that's where when I deal with stuff, I go to worship service and guess what? My answers is it's answered in the worship service, and I get out the worship service renewed and ready to fight on and know what to do as well. So you never be lost, Be prayerful, always thank God for every moment that we breathe.
It's very nice. Those are very
Yeah.
nice advice. I would rewatch this episode and list those down. I need that. I need that. Thank you so much for that, Brother Kevin. Thank you for giving us your time tonight to be our guest here on UJ Radio. But before we finish our interview, maybe you have a message for our beloved executive minister, to Ka Eduardo Manalo. He may be watching our episode, so this is the time. Take it away.
Yeah. So to our brother, Eduardo V. Manalo, thank you so much for your leadership, your love for the church, and your love for us. We thank you so much for the Mountain District of Mountain State, the District of the Las Vegas locale, and all the brethren throughout the world. Love you so much, Paul, and love what you do for the church, Paul, and how zealous and giving us a hope of salvation, Paul. Thank you so much, Paul. Continue to bring the church to the profession of their faith, Paul, and we are here to help, and we love you so much, Paul, and I'm so happy that I am a light of salvation, so we can spread it all throughout the world, Paul.
Maraming salamat. Thank you so much, Paul, Brother Thunderstorm Johnson, and you really taught us today how sacrifices through self-discipline pays off at the end. And above all, you've taught us how not to forget about devotional prayers. No matter how confident you are with the skills that you have, the strength that you have, all the trainings you've undergone, still you went back to the main cause of all the success. That is through prayers. Excuse me. And of course, before we end this, let's ask what the Bible has to say about self-discipline. Brother Kevin, please.
While physical training has some value, training in holy living is useful for everything. It has promise for this life now and the life to come.
And there you have it, what the Bible says. Now we're going to find out today, earlier, what that sound actually was for our hashtag soundcheck. Brother Kevin, our technical director, could you please reveal to us what that sound was, and were we correct? All right, we got one. We're gonna be wrapping up the year 2021 with a few wins of ourselves. I know, but it's not the same thing as boxing.
Not the same thing as boxing.
But these last few episodes of the week, we've been getting these sound checks correctly. So thank you very much, and of course, a big thank you to our dear brother Kevin Thunderstorm Johnson for joining us today, for telling us about his inspiring story. It was informative, it was inspiring, it was entertaining. I loved it. Please do share this episode by giving us a like, a heart, and tell our guests about it so we have more people joining us and we can give you more content like this. And we'd love to have Brother Kevin back. And of course, you there watching on INC TV and our Facebook and YouTube channels.
Yeah. And to our CFO coordinator po, Brother Angelo Iranyo V. Manalo, maraming salamat po sa inyo. And above all, to our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, thank you so much po.
At ang mga aabangan nyo, syempre mga programa po dito po sa INC TV. Ito na ang atin pong plugs. We have Fit to Serve every Sunday, 8 a.m. po. We have Gourmet at Home. Saturdays, 12 noon on INCPC's Facebook page and YouTube channel. At pwede nyo pong mapanood ulit yan sa INC TV. Tuwing linggo naman yan, 11 a.m. We have INCMV by request Mondays to Fridays at 1 in the afternoon, to be followed right after by the INC Playlist app live 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. every Sunday. Siyempre, hindi po natin pwedeng kalimutan ang Spotlight Season 7. Alas 8 po yan ng gabi. And para mapanood niyo po lahat ng mga programang ito, pwede niyo pong ulit-ulitin, pwede niyo i-replay. At siyempre, para mapanood ang mga pinakabagong activities, programs, and concerts at INC music videos, follow, like, share, and subscribe to INC Production Company's Facebook page and YouTube channel. So again, Brother Kevin Johnson, thank you so much for giving us your time tonight here on UJ Radio. We love the interview, and I'm sure nag-enjoy po, our audiences enjoyed your story. Thank you so much, and we will be leaving you with this last INCMV. So bye-bye po mga kapatid, and we'll see you again next Saturday. Bye!
it just got real. The situation is no joke. Don't let your troubles get you locked up in a chokehold. You'll never be left alone to fly solo. Yo, no, there's a sanctuary from the pain, but we've got to keep praying. Because alone it's like a flicker of a flame in the face of a hurricane. So we dropping these chains. No longer shackled by sin. We're battling to win and maintain.
Cause just my supplications, they don't suffice. We're digging a deeper whenever we speak so we can hope for life. We fight the fight, and that's who Jesus Christ, the one mediator, the one single connection to the Father, the Creator. Every worry, every problem off our backs. When we need the weight lifted, yeah, we know where he's at. To the Almighty Father, we run it back. We're all aboard a train of thought, but you help us stay on track. Come on. Whenever we need him, he's always there. There's no one else who does what he can do. Each time we seek him, he always cares. Don't ever fear, he's just a prayer away.
Have the right to pray to him, to our God, and talk about our problems, and let him help us to solve all them. So now the tests and trials don't have us falling down. We're uplifted because we had God's gifts, and the love that he gives is always constant. So when our lives to him, we stay honest, then in return he gives everything he promised.
To go on and so on and so forth. 4 words, we keep moving forward.
Towards the goal. Keep running the race even when we get old.
Praying for the strength when the fire tests our faith. We don't ever stray because God is our guide. He is just a prayer away.
This we know for sure.
He's just a prayer away.
This we know for sure. Whenever we need him. Whenever ever.
He's always there.
There's no one else who does what he can do.
Each time we seek him, he always cares. Don't ever fear, he's just a prayer away. Whenever we need him,
Whenever we need him.
There's no one else who does what he can do. Each time we seek him, he always cares. Don't ever fear, he's just a prayer away. Whenever we need him, yeah.
He's always there.
There's no one else who does what he can do. Each time we seek him, he always cares. Don't ever fear, he's just a prayer away.